Hi all, and welcome back to another episode of my hard landscape design series. In today's episode we're going to talk about all things sandstone. We are going to cover limestone in a separate video, and limestone and sandstone do have similarities. For example, they are both sedimentary rocks, but like I said, we will cover limestone separately. So what is a sedimentary rock? So generally speaking, sandstone is made up of layers of sand over the years that have been compacted quite hard and obviously form a stone. It will come in a variety ranges of colours, but generally speaking they're going to be sort of buff tones, sort of pale yellows, shades of grey, and sometimes this kind of terracotta shade. It all depends on the quarry that they are being quarried from. Now, from a cost point of view, sandstone might be one of the more cost-effective products that we are going to look in this tutorial. However, there is more expensive versions of sandstone, and again, this will all depend where they are quarried from. So please make sure that if you are sourcing sandstone, and it is very cheap, that it is ethically sourced. A lot of sandstone that does come into mainland UK now does come from India. So it is just worth checking that all out, and to make sure that everything is above board. So what you will find is cheaper sandstones might be under £20 a square metre and in and around the sort of £20 a square metre bracket. And then your more expensive sandstones, they probably are quarried within Europe or within the UK, and they probably will be in that 40, 50 or £60 a square metre bracket approximately. Date of recording obviously is 2023, so those are approximate price guidelines. Of course, you'll have to do your own independent research as to see what the costings are. Now, another thing that will probably factor the cost of the sandstone will be the depth. For example, these little cuttings here are all sort of 15 to 20 mil in depth. Now, the sandstone flags that you're purchasing might be a much deeper flag, so they might work their way up into the 40 mil, maybe even the 50 mil depth of flag. Generally speaking, you will find stone does split more thinly, so probably speaking, a good depth within stone probably would be 25 to 35 millimetre approximately. Sandstone generally comes in a series of rectangles. I have seen it done in kind of mixed size ratios where you kind of have that sort of random bond effect, or sometimes you can have it just as sawn rectangular blocks. For example, these samples is what's called a sawn finish, which means they have a smooth finish on the top, and they do look quite contemporary. Now, another word that you will hear come up from time to time, and this doesn't just refer to sandstone, you will hear this word appear in all products like concrete, like clay, like natural stone, will be the word riven. A riven finish is just an undulating, uneven surface where instead of a nice smooth surface like this, you kind of have the natural stone's actual appearance where it will have those ripples and undulations. If you are setting garden furniture on your surface, you probably will prefer a sawn finish. If it's just an area that you're walking through, or you're setting pots on, or it's maybe garden furniture that doesn't need to be too stable, like as in just chairs, then that riven finish is great because it really does give you that rustic, naturalistic look. But otherwise, if you do want that sawn finish, you are going to set maybe a table and chairs on it, you plan to eat in this area, I would go for the sawn finish because then you are reducing the table from rocking. As I mentioned at the start of this video, sandstone is a sedimentary rock. It is a natural product, and therefore that means it is highly porous, which means it pulls a lot of moisture in, and that means it can get green in winter, it is going to get dirty, and it is going to sort of stain quite easily, especially if you spill wine on it, and that can permeate into the rock face itself and potentially stain it. So if none of that is for you, you might want to consider porcelain or some of the concrete products that we'll talk about in a separate video in this module. But otherwise, personally speaking, for me, I love kind of the natural look that sandstone will give you. I love kind of the natural colours that will come in. And I know in the other videos, we're going to talk about batch coating, and batch coating is where if you know your square meterage, you order the correct amount of product for your area. Within natural stone, yes, no matter how well you measure and how well you order, technically speaking, within natural products, you can't really, a batch code will not exist as such because, well, yes and no, it does and it doesn't. From the area of probably where it's been quarried, yes, roughly that will be the batch code, but it's not like it's a man-made product where the material is along a production line and the same ingredients are going in every day. Obviously, it's Mother Earth is going to be cut out of a natural rock face somewhere, and of course, yes, it's going to vary because it's took years and years and years of compaction to make, and within that compaction there is going to be certain things that is going to edit the colours, the textures, the finishes. But yes, In the next video, we will talk about limestone. Limestone is slightly different from sandstone. It is another natural stone, but we will talk about the differences between the two. As I said, they are both sedimentary rocks and they do have similarities. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Bye.